Recording in progress.
All right, everybody, you are welcome to day 2 of our annual retreat that we started yesterday. And for some people who have been members of my community for more than a year or 2 years, there are different types of people in this community. And for people who have been my coaching and consulting clients for a couple of years, we know that one of the most important things that I do in December is having an annual teaching session like this to contribute in preparing people for the next coming year. And this is always important because one of the best ways that you can get the best from a season is how prepared you are as far as that season is concerned. Life is in seasons. And one of the best ways to tap from any season is how prepared you are about that season. When you are transitioning from the old birthday to a new birthday, that's a new season you're transitioning into. And the best way you can tap into that season and actually get the best out of it is how prepared you are as far as that season is concerned, and you digging deep to prepare in the core areas of your life. And transitioning from one year to another is very important to prepare. And why is the preparation important? Because as far as different stakeholders are also preparing, they are going to take actions that will orchestrate a change in how people get to live life. I was in a meeting and they mentioned, for example, I'm just going to an example. I was in a meeting a few days ago. It was an African meeting talking about the economy and other things. And then they mentioned a new immigration law that Canada is releasing from the 1st of January about students who are coming to study in Canada. And they're talking about how they're increasing the down payments. They are doing a couple of new things as far as international students are concerned. And that law is going to effect on the 1st of January. And like Canada, there are many countries around the world that will be enacting new policies and new systems into place in January. Like countries, institutions, companies, parastatals and agencies, what have you, will be launching new products, announcing new innovations, and doing different things because of the new year. So anytime there's a new season coming, key players and stakeholders will always play a key role in causing a shift in that season. And one of the best ways that citizens, individuals like us, one of the best ways that we can tap into these possible changes is to prepare for these possible changes. And the best way to prepare is to have access to two key things. Number one, strategic information. And number two, developing strategic knowledge and skills in order to enhance your capabilities to be able to do two things: to take advantage of opportunities that will arise because of the new season, and number two, to build a risk management system around the threats that may arise because of the new season. And that's why it's important to always prepare for a new season coming. And that is why, again, that I always do this retreat. I've been doing this annual retreat for 7 years plus. Every December, we gather people from our communities, clients, mentees, anybody. This one is even very public this year, where we promoted massively. In the other years, we just used to do it just within the community, and I invite just a few clients and share the mentorship group and other communities that I run for entrepreneurs and professionals in different areas. So you're welcome, and get set for a good time that is going to cause some transformation. So again, as you know, for those who participated yesterday, the purpose of this is I will be sharing a couple of things that I believe and I think that people should take into consideration, whether you're a working professional, whether you're a university student, you are part of the economy, whether you run a business or you're thinking of running a business, I'll be sharing a couple of things that people should take into consideration and they should start doing if they are going to make the best out of the coming year. And one thing I said, I think it was in the 2020 retreat, I said between 2020 and 2030 is a defining decade for anybody who is between the age of 20 and the age of 45. If you are between this age group, whatever you do between 2020 and 2030 would likely define the rest of your life, right? And I also said, I was having a part of my end of year meeting with those who are my mentees, and I was telling them that whatever age they are, if they add 30 years to their current age, they're going to see that the next important phase of their life is what they will do with their next 30 years. If anybody is 20, in the next 30 years, you'll be 50. If you're 30, in the next 30 years, you'll be 60. So the next 30 years is very important. And for some people, they don't really have that 30 years. They have just 20 years to be very active. And for you and for us as individuals to really take advantage of the time that we have is to really know what to do, how to do, and when to do it. Because when you don't have enough time on your side, it is dangerous to be doing what they call in Cameroon, to boom, trial and error, right? It's more important to be specific, to have laser focus, and to understand what you're doing and how you're doing it. So today we are focusing on the topic acquiring and deploying destiny enabling knowledge and skills. About 5 years ago, I wrote a concept on destiny enabling knowledge and skills. And the foundation of this concept is anybody who will end up manifesting destiny will not do so from the place of wishing, will do so from the place of their ability to acquire destiny knowledge and skills, and secondly, their ability to deploy that knowledge and skills in the marketplace. And if you are going to take advantage of a new season like the new year coming, one of the most important things you should be able to do is to acquire that destiny enabling knowledge and skills that you need and be able to deploy them in order to advance the work that you do, either as a professional or an entrepreneur. Now, I would like to define destiny enabling knowledge and skills in 5 key points. Number one, it talks about the intersection between your talent and mastery. The concept of destiny enabling skills, and this is something that it cuts across everybody, every single human being. And this is for people who desire to do more and to achieve more in terms of impact, in terms of personal success, in terms of family success, career, and business. If you're going to do more and achieve more, this is one thing that will always be like one of your core pillars when it comes to your manifestation, right? So what is destiny enabling knowledge and skills? Number one, it talks about the intersection between your talent and your mastery. This is where your natural abilities met your expert skills. And when these two come together, they create a powerful combination that can lead to your destiny manifestation. I have often said that in the marketplace, nobody really pays you because you are naturally gifted. Because there are many naturally gifted people. But it is the ability to convert that natural gift into a skill that can create value that will enable you to actually manifest your career or your business. So there are many people who are gifted, but when it comes to mastery, they are average. So their level of manifestation gets to be limited, even though they are gifted, because their level of mastery, which needs to combine with their talent is limited. And if you're somebody who pays attention to patterns, you will notice that in this dispensation in the last 5 years, and this is only going to increase with the growth of social media, influencing content creation, and all of this, this concept has become more important and more critical than ever before. So that is the first point when it comes to destiny enabling knowledge and skills. Number two, it means you developing a toolkit for your life's purpose, developing a platform, developing a structure or a system that carries the relevant tools that can enable your purpose manifestation. So this is where you have so grown your skill stack to the level where you have your go-to skills and knowledge that closely align with your purpose manifestation. Because it is possible to discover purpose and still be irrelevant. Very possible. It is possible to know and to be convicted about what you are supposed to do, and it is possible to still have no impact in what you want to do. The same as it is possible, there are many people that will enter the next coming year and they actually know what they would like to do, but they are not able to do it because their toolkit, which is supposed to include destiny enabling knowledge and skills, is empty and is not able to generate that. Right? So, destiny enabling knowledge now brings us to the point where an individual agrees or comes to that place of awareness where there is this clear conviction and clarity that this is what I am supposed to do. For example, let us get let's get an example of somebody who desires to be, let me use social media, influencers, because it's one of the newest fast-growing professions, occupations in the last 5 years so far, because of the influence, popularity, and money that it brings. It cuts across what most young people or younger generation wants, right? And let us say that you're somebody here that you know that you want to be a social media influencer in the tech industry, and that's topic for another day. When it comes to social media influencing, it cuts across different industries, and you need to understand the rules in that industry, and then you begin to play by those rules the right way. So, however, we are going to codename your dream or your passion or your goal to become a successful, highly paid, influential social media influencer in 2024. That is your 2024 destiny, or that is part of your destiny, but that is your major goal for 2024. Now, that is just one part of it. Now, the next part that comes in, which is important for your manifestation of that destiny, is what destiny enabling knowledge and skills do I need to get that will enable me to manifest this part of my destiny comes 2024. So from a personal research, I have come to the conclusion that in any career that anybody has chosen, there are always 5 top destiny enabling skills and 5 levels of knowledge acquisition that an individual must get if they are going to be successful in that destiny that they are convicted about. Because, as the word goes, enabling, for any manifestation you see, for anybody you see either doing so well in a particular industry as an industry captain or doing so well in a particular business as a business leader, the foundation, one of the foundational pillars enabling them to do that which they are doing is what you now call destiny enabling knowledge and enabling skills. Like I always fondly say, if you see anybody doing better than you in any industry that you're passionate about, there are many things in play, but one of the things that is in play is that number one, they know something you don't know, strategic information. Number two, they have acquired a certain level of knowledge and capacity that you don't have. So they have these things at their disposal that is enabling their manifestation in that industry. Number three, you can add resources. You can be admiring and comparing yourself with somebody in a particular industry. Meanwhile, they have more money than you to finance their projects in that industry. That is one of the pillars that enables their manifestation. That's a topic for another day. But we're focusing on destiny enabling knowledge and skills, right? So as you're listening to me, the main thing that you need to start doing and start calculating as a business leader, as a professional, is what core destiny enabling knowledge and skills do I need to acquire that will enable my manifestation in the coming year? Because wishing is not enough, right? Writing goals is good, but do you have what it takes to enable the achievement of that goal? Writing a life plan is good. But one of the most important things that you need to fit in your life plan is, what enabling knowledge and skill do I need to make my life plan come to pass? So I have a question for you. Do you know your destiny enabling knowledge and skill? And as I said briefly, these things will cut across depending on two key things: the industry you have picked and where you are in life. Where you are, I'm talking about, let me use the word status for lack of a better word, right? So somebody who wants to manifest destiny in tech will need a different set of destiny enabling skills and knowledge. Somebody who wants to grow in agriculture, in social media influencing, in healthcare, in personal development, in all of these hundreds of industries. The industry where you play and the level where you are right now. In terms of level, it could mean, number one, your level of education at the moment. Somebody who has a BSc and somebody who has a master's degree, there will definitely be a slight difference in what they need to enable their manifestation. And that's why one of the most important things that needs to happen to you after this session is a self-awareness, where you need to begin to analyze your current state of affairs. So you are able to determine, do I really have the destiny enabling knowledge and skills? If not, which ones do I need to develop that will enable me to manifest that which I desire to manifest? So, but the key thing in this concept is acquiring the destiny enabling knowledge and skills and deploying the destiny enabling knowledge and skills. Because if you know that you don't do the acquisition and you don't do the deployment, you will still be like the same person who is not even dreaming at all. You know, somebody who dreams and cannot execute is basically the same like somebody who has no dream and doesn't care where life is going to. So what does it mean to acquire destiny enabling knowledge and skill? Number one, it means you have come to a place where you are able to identify knowledge and skills gaps in your destiny. You're able to identify the knowledge and skills gap in the next coming year. Oh, this is what I want to do. Perfect. But do I have the skills and the knowledge to get it done? What particular knowledge and skills do I need to acquire so I can enable the manifestation of my 2024 goals? Number two, what does it mean to acquire destiny enabling knowledge and skill? It means learning with intent, learning with the right intentions. You know, in the personal development sphere and industry, there's a lot of brag about how many books people read per year, right? I spoke about this yesterday. But we need to take this further. There are people that just reading sake, they just read to consume information. But learning that will transform you is learning that is done with intent. Learning with the intention to acquire knowledge and skill that will have a direct impact in the goal you want to achieve or in the life you want to build. And this is where part of the argument that comes, which talks about the dangers of forcing people to go to the university and study what they feel they're not going to use. Because you can spend 3 years learning with no intentions, with not proper intentions. You see, that's why one of the reasons is this happens a lot in North America and in European countries. There are some schools that really encourage that before you come do your graduate program, like your MBA, I know this a lot. I'm in the business field. I know this a lot, mostly in the business field. They always like people who have at least 1 year working experience after their BSc. The purpose is when you're coming to do your MBA or your master's, you're not just doing it because you want to fulfill all righteousness of getting a master's degree, but you're learning with intent. Maybe you have done a couple of jobs and internships in different areas, and you have discovered that, oh, when it comes to business, I am passionate about value chain. I am passionate about marketing and sales. I am passionate about strategic management and innovation. I am passionate about production. I'm passionate about people, human capital development, and all of that. So when you're coming back to do your master's degree, you're doing it with the right intentions, known as learning with intention, because you are now learning with the intention to use the knowledge and the skills to cause a direct impact in what you have made up your mind to do for the rest of your career. And like I was saying earlier, one of the best things that can happen to people from the age of 25 and above. And when I'm saying this, doesn't mean that if you have passed this age, you got it all wrong. You can always make a U-turn at any time, right? But always encourage that what are the best things or two best things that can happen to you at the age of 25 and above is, number one, you have identified an industry that you want to become a key player in. You pick an industry and you're like, you know what? This industry or these industries, I would like to grow in these industries, become the best expert there is in these industries, build that projects, portfolio, whatever you're building, but this is the path that you have chosen to run with for the rest of your career and for the rest of your life. Most people, I like to study history, insight, and foresight because I do a lot of work with companies to anticipate the future of different industries and recommend what they should do and not do. So I like to study the history of industries, the presence of the industry, and possibly where the industry will be tomorrow. Study anybody who is an industry leader in any sector around the world. Then go and look at how long they have been working in that particular industry. People celebrate Elon Musk today. We go pay attention and see where he's coming from with his journey with technology. People celebrate Mark Zuckerberg today. People celebrate Bill Gates. Go look at the history of the 100 billionaires, and you will see that where they are dominating presently is a long journey. It's a history of learning and studying and acquiring data and doing a lot of things, right? So many people end up at the age of 40 plus, 50 plus, and they have not really built a sustainable, stable career because in the last couple of years, they were everywhere and nowhere. So they have not paid the price and gone through the process, what I like to call expert process, because expert process involves trial and error, involves learning and failing, involves starting projects and messing them up, involves acquiring data, involves learning and reading what other experts have said about the industry over and over and over until you grow your capacity to a level where you can even also become a contributor to that particular industry. Right? So when it comes to acquiring destiny-enabling knowledge and skills, you need to be intentional about learning with the right intent. It's not just about learning, but it is about choosing what to learn that aligns with your goals and with your destiny and with the career path you have chosen. Right? So it's very important to consider that. Number two, the second concept under this we were talking about is deploying destiny-enabling knowledge and skills. And this is where the hard work is. This is where a large percentage of the people don't operate. And that's why if you're somebody who studies certain data, you will notice that the top 1% is very small. The top 5% is small, it's like a pyramid, right? Then at the bottom, so many people in the lower class, millions, billions of people. In the upper class, billions of people. When you start going to the upper middle class, start going to the middle class, billions of people, the upper middle class, you see a few millions of people. In the upper class, you see just a few 1% and all of that. Many a times, the deployment is the hard work. It's where you're going to fail, people fail, and then they give up, people try, and then they feel as if it's not going to work at all, and all of that. However, if you are going to achieve, if you're going to be an achiever, you're going to be a high performer, you're going to be a result-driven person, the most important thing you need to understand is how to deploy destiny-enabling knowledge and skills. And this is where there is a danger when it comes to acquiring the wrong knowledge and skills or inadequate knowledge and skills. Because you can only deploy based on what you know. You know, one of the basic facts about life is where we are right now, where I am right now as an individual, and where you are right now as an individual, especially career-wise, financially, all of that, directly corresponds to the quality of knowledge that you have acquired over the years. Because you can never make money beyond the quality of knowledge that you command. Because money is not magical. Making, keeping, multiplying money is a process, it's a system, basically. And that system depends on the quality of knowledge that you command in that particular system. Except for career growth. Among 8 billion people, the world is very competitive. The marketplace is crazy competitive. So companies who want to become competitive want to recruit people who command the right quality of knowledge that they can create the value they need and help them dominate in the marketplace where they operate. So the deployment of your destiny-enabling skills that will enable you to win in 2024 depends on what you have acquired or what you acquire as destiny-enabling skills and knowledge. Right? So what does it mean to deploy destiny-enabling knowledge and skills? Are you being challenged so far? I'm about to round up and then I can get questions so far. So if you have possible questions, you can start keeping them. I will give examples. I try to document several examples of destiny-enabling knowledge and skills that people should acquire in this dispensation, not just for 2024, but based on where the world is going to in the next 10 to 20 years. right? So I'll be listing some of those skills, and they're not exhaustive, but one thing that you will learn is you'll see that there's a transition when it comes to the type of skills and what the world will be looking for in the next couple of months and years. All right, are you being challenged? Are you learning something? Leave me feedback in the chat box for those who are here on Zoom, and of course for people who are on Facebook and YouTube. Are you being challenged? Are you making some decisions? What are you going to do right now as far as your career and business is concerned? That's my goal, to challenge you, set you on fire, make you uncomfortable with where you are right now. Good, 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 good. Happy to see that. Happy to see that. Let me jump on Facebook and see what is happening. So we're going to spend some time now and look at what does it mean? What does it mean to deploy destiny enabling knowledge and skills? I want to tell you something. You see this particular topic? If you love success, and I always tell, if you're around me, please love to be successful. There's nothing sexy and nice about being about struggling and being broken. Nothing. Please. Because when you love to succeed, you pay the price to succeed, right? Good. So if you're going to achieve, this is one of the things that when I learned, it changed a lot about my life, about my personal career, right? This concept of destiny enabling knowledge and skills. I wrote it down. I think it's in one of my books. I'm not sure which one exactly, but I wrote out one chapter in one of my books. And I got feedback one time. Somebody said, in all the chapters, that is the chapter that changed my life. So, all right. Deploying destiny enabling knowledge and skills. What does it mean? Number one, having an action-oriented approach towards the knowledge you have acquired. Now, this is day 2 of the retreat so far, right? If you truly understand this concept I'm teaching you today, you need to have an action-oriented approach to what I taught yesterday, to what I'm teaching today, and to what I will teach for the next 3 to 4 days. And an action-oriented approach to what you have been learning all of your life. And you need to have the action-oriented approach on the knowledge and skills that if you execute, they will have a direct impact on the destiny that you have chosen for yourself. It will have a direct impact on the business you're trying to build, on that career you're trying to build. You know, one young lady, she got a job with the United Nations, and that was always a passion. And when she came, I said, look, I believe that it is possible, but let us draw a plan. And I gave her a challenge. I said, go and do a research. Go and do a research. She was trained in project, she was a project manager and all of that. I said, go and do a research for the United Nations, Cameroon and Nigeria and all of that. Do a research and look at what are the top skills that you will see that United Nations mentions in all of their job publications. And make up your mind that in the next 6 months, you're going to upgrade yourself in those core skills that if you are called for an interview, based on the quality of knowledge that you command, you will be among the top 10% of candidates. So when I did research, came to me and said, oh, I noticed that United Nations always mention monitoring and evaluation. I noticed they always mention research. I noticed they always mention communication. She mentioned those 5 skills. I said, okay, with those 5 skills, I want you to rate yourself on 10. When it comes to monitoring and evaluation, can you rate yourself confidently that you are among top 10, best of the best so far? She rated herself as, okay, good. Based on that rating, don't apply for jobs now. Because it's not just about applying, it's about strategically doing it right in a way that you will be competitive and knock off people. You know, there are you can see a position and 1,000 people apply. I can bet you that 800 are not even among the top 2%. They're not among the top 5% to get that job. They have wrong CVs, poor written CVs. Their skill set is below average. A lot of things. So sometimes when you even see a job that many people have applied, don't give up. Don't just, there are so many people. There can be 1,000 applications and 100 are below average when it comes to quality, what they're looking for in that position, right? And she did that after 6 months, she started applying. And before 3 months, she got a job. What am I trying to say? That was a process that she went through called the action-oriented process when it comes to acquiring and deploying destiny-enabling knowledge. There are many people still struggling in the same place 5 years after, 2 years after, because all skills and knowledge they have, they are average skills. They don't have the capacity to move them forward to the next level. They need more to get there. So it is one thing to have skills and knowledge. It is another thing to actively deploy them in pursuit of your goals and destiny. Are you good at deploying the knowledge and skills you have in pursuit of your destiny? For some people, two key things are burying their destiny here: procrastination and lack of self-discipline. Procrastination and lack of self-discipline. There are some people that, and this procrastination and lack of self-discipline is even affecting them, the stage of knowledge and skill acquisition that can enable their destiny. They procrastinate to read a book that is relevant to the industry. They procrastinate to take a course that is relevant to the work that they want to do. So their knowledge acquisition keeps being below value, below average, and that consequently affects their knowledge deployment that can play a big role in what they do. You know, I've always fondly said that, especially for us in Africa, where, you know, corruption and sometimes there's still the prevailing rate where a lot of people are recruited in contracts and projects and jobs and all of that based on relations, based on tribalism, family, and all of that. But however, I always say that if you don't have a godfather, a godmother, or relation somewhere, one of the best things to have at your advantage is become so good that you cannot be ignored. Become so good that they will see you as an asset if you join their vision. That's your best bet. That's your best bet. I've had the privilege to work on some top projects across Africa in different countries and in North America and in Europe, not because I know anybody. Sometimes they will just come, oh, I saw this on LinkedIn, oh, we're doing a research, somebody recommended you because you can do this for us, and all of that. Right? There are some places that for you to enter those opportunities, somebody needs to push you through. But there are some opportunities that you will get access to based on how good you are. And what does it mean, how good you are? It means that you have so built yourself in terms of relevant knowledge and skills that if you are competing for that opportunity, you will be among the top 10, the top 10% of experts in that opportunity. Many people don't get opportunities because when they apply for an opportunity, they're not even among the top 5%. You see, that's the challenge. And that begins to negatively affect some people's motivation because they feel as if they are working so hard, but the results are not coming. But you know, there's a difference between working hard and having diligence in your hard work. Diligence is when you are effective in your hard work. Diligence is when you are productive in your hard work. You can work hard and apply for 1,000 jobs in 2 months and never get an interview because you have a bad CV. That's hard work, but it's not effective hard work. It's not productive hard work because the tools and the knowledge that needs to back up that hard work is limited. It's not valuable enough. So the deployment of your destiny enabling knowledge and skills now become a challenge to you, right? Number two, what does it mean to deploy destiny enabling knowledge and skills? It means adapting to real world challenges. Adapting to real world challenges. What does that mean? It means applying what you know to solve real problems. It means making a tangible difference wherever you are. Adapting to real world challenges. If you are going to deploy destiny enabling knowledge and skill, this is one of the most important things you need to know how to do. Being able to adapt to real world challenges. Let me give an example. This is a very virtual world right now. And you are in a meeting, you are in an event or a meeting with your boss or whoever. And they're trying to set up a virtual meetup with another partner somewhere. And maybe they want to use Zoom, they want to use Teams, they want to use Skype, or all of these virtual collaborative platforms. And if on that team, nobody has the knowledge about real world problems like these, and there's a challenge, connect effectively and have that meeting, you're not going to help in any way. But anybody who is going to be relevant is somebody who can adapt quickly and learn about the latest things that are happening in their industry and in the path that they've chosen, so that when there is a real world latest challenge or real industry challenge, they will quickly adapt and solve it. So knowing how to apply what you know to solve real problems, and let me use the word relevant problems, is very important, because there are people that have 1990 knowledge and they want to use it to solve 2023, 2024 problems. No, you will be behind news. You will not be able to solve real marketplace problems with cake knowledge or inadequate knowledge or old knowledge. Number three, what does it mean to deploy destiny enabling knowledge and skills? It means having the mindset of creating opportunities. What does that mean? It means, number one, using your skills to open doors. Using your skills to open doors. Yes, you can use your skills to open doors, right? For example, I've done this a few times where I've seen a particular business struggling with something, or let me use an event, for example. I was paid to go speak in an event in one country, I can't remember. Here's what happened. I saw their event team. I saw the core things I want to handle in that event and all of that. Then I wrote a 2-page proposal of a topic I can present upon and why the topic is important to that event and why I think that the audience need to know about this and use it in the work that they do. That was how they fit me into that event, paid for my flight, paid for my hotel, and paid me to come and speak. What did I do? I used my knowledge and my skills in that area, open the door. Let me tell you something. One proof that you have acquired relevant destiny enabling knowledge and skills is how you can sometimes use what you know to create opportunities where you are. Use what you know to open doors where you are. The point is, Do you actually have it in you? The point is, have you paid the price to go through the expert development process? And again, that is where the hard work is, because it requires sleepless nights. It requires consistent, resilient research, studying, trying and error, and perfecting your craft as a professional, right? So the third way to deploy your destiny-enabling knowledge and skills is create opportunities. Number one, use your skills to open doors. Number two, use what you know to pave your way forward. Use what you know to pave your way forward. Let me tell you something. There are some people who are achieving what they are achieving because they are using what they know to open doors for themselves, to pave their way forward. But some people are totally lost and they cannot pave the way forward. They cannot thrive forward because they don't even know whether to go left, to go right, or go straight. They have no idea what to do. So one of the best ways to pave your way forward in career, business, finance, all of that, is for you to deploy relevant destiny-enabling knowledge and skills. The next key point on deploying knowledge and skills is evolving and growing. You need to come to a spot, to a place where you have a plan in place that challenges you to evolve and to grow. You need to have a plan in place that is constantly refining you and improving your skills and your knowledge. It's very important. This plan can be as simple as, you know what, every year you buy the top leading latest English book about your industry and read. So that when you read that, you are updated. And when you're updated, that is how your brain, your mental intelligence is evolving and is growing. There was a time I did a teaching in one of our morning schools with the mentees in my community, and I challenged them to go, and I want to challenge everybody to go and do that. One of the best ways to evolve and grow as a professional and as an entrepreneur is identify the 5 top universities around the world who are leaders in the work that you do. Go to the university website and subscribe to their mailing lists. Some of them even have paid platforms where you can pay an annual fee and begin to read the latest publication. Like Harvard University has Harvard Business Review for those who are in business. But Harvard also have other faculties that they are one of the best in the world. It could be tech, it could be education, and whatever, right? So I want to challenge somebody here. If you want to consistently evolve and grow, you need to be connected to institutions that publicly produce some of the best research and ideas and concepts that have the capacity to shape the world and to shape your industry. That's one of the best ways to evolve and to grow. Okay? When you do that, it's going to help you. So that's what it means to deploy your destiny-enabling knowledge and skill. Now, examples of foundational destiny-enabling knowledge and skills. Now, this is not all, but these are the ones that could come to mind when I was documenting the notes to come and teach. So these are not all, but this is just to prepare you to know. So I'm listing now examples of knowledge and skills that anybody in this dispensation, that you are serious about doing better, you're serious about achieving better and doing more, either as a professional, as a corporate professional, or as a business person, you need to start noticing. And of course, you must not be the best in all of these. Are tens of them, right? But as I said, one of the best you can do is identify 5. What are the top 5 that if you are good at, and this is a personal point of view, from personal research and observation, I believe that every profession has 5 top skills and 5 top knowledge areas that if anybody become good, so that you acquire that and you become so good at, that you can be among the top 5-10% when it comes to expertise in those particular areas, you become so good that you cannot be ignored and you can create more value for the work that you do, right? So when I'll briefly explain some, I'll just list some, and you can pick it up and go do further research and see how you can grow in those areas. The first foundational skill when it comes to the topic we're talking about today is the skill of learning, unlearning, and relearning. It's a skill. Many people don't know how to unlearn and relearn. If you're going to be relevant, like what I'm teaching today, for many people, you need to unlearn certain things that you knew so you can learn something new and be able to produce different results, because you have been doing the same thing over and over in the last 10 years, 5 years, and your life is not moving forward. Your career is the same. So you may need to unlearn what you thought is working and relearn new ideas and new concepts so you can deploy and advance forward, right? So the skill of learning, unlearning, and relearning. You need to pay the price of that. Number two, the skill of processing information. Many people can look, many people can read, but they don't know how to process that information, understand that information, and act upon that information that can bring change in their life, finances, business, family, whatever, right? So you need to start learning how to process information. When you read something, you need to process it, understand it. What is the intent of this communication? When you're listening to me right now, are you just listening or you're actually processing? And what does it mean to process? It means many things. Number one is, okay, based on what is being said, how does it relate to me right now? How is it different from what I know? If I begin to apply this, what are the possible changes I will see? The best way to process information is to ask questions as you begin to read or you begin to listen, right? The third skill that you need to win next year and the next coming years is resourcefulness. Resourcefulness. See, for many people get to complain that they are where they are because they lack resources. But the real thing that many people lack is resourcefulness. Many people are not resourceful. And when you are not resourceful, you will not have resources. You will not have money. What does it mean to be resourceful? It means to be creative enough and to be proactive enough that you always find what to do and you find information to use that information to take action on it so you can get what you don't have. Let me give an example of a non-resourceful and a resourceful young person. A non-resourceful young person, let's say two young people, they all have phones, access to internet and all of that. But a non-resourceful young person in, let's say, in a city in Anambra State in Nigeria, right? We have Nigerians and people. So let me not use only Cameroon examples, right? In a city in Anambra State, Nigeria. Two young people there, all of them have access to phone and the internet. And all of them can read and write. A non-resourceful person will just be there. Oh, there's no job, or there's no money, or things are hard, or my parents did this, the government has done that, and all of that. One characteristic of non-resourceful people is complaints. They complain about everything. They see something wrong about everything. Now, a resourceful person will need to start asking, how can I use what I have to get what I don't have? Oh, I have a phone. I have the internet. Oh, and this phone can give me access to people on the internet. Oh, maybe if I get the value that people need and promote that value, they can buy and I can get paid. Oh, I don't have the value. Oh, maybe I have a friend or a family member who has value. Maybe the person has a shop. Can I use my phone, snap it, go post online, add a small fee on it for delivery and additional commission that they buy, I go deliver and I get paid. Resourcefulness. And when he start doing that, he start gaining financial resources. And it's the same for all of us. At whatever stage you are in life, the resourcefulness will always be one of your most important skills. That's what I always say for those who have ideas. You say, people say, oh, I have this idea, I don't have money to implement and all of that. It's not because money is not there. No, there are many people that have money to fund ideas. The problem is you are not resourceful enough to know how to look for the money. Because some people, they just have the ideas, but they don't know how to be resourceful enough to document that idea in a way they can present it and somebody understands where they're going to and even bank on them and have faith in them that, oh, based on this idea, based on how good it is and how you have presented it, based on the data you have presented, we want to trust you and invest in you. Right? Some people have the ideas, but they don't know how to be resourceful enough to use the internet to find angel investors and build relationships with angel investors, either on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and from there, it can lead to a possible investment. Resourcefulness, right? There's a whole teaching I have on resourcefulness, but I hope that lays the foundation. And again, as I said, at whatever level, resourcefulness will always help you become better. Next is digital skills. Whatever sector you are in right now, one of the most important things you need to start doing is pay extra attention to digital skills. And one thing I would challenge you to do is go on the internet and go on Google and ask a simple question. As a nurse, what are the top digital skills that I need to acquire? As a, what else? What do you do? Type in the chat box. Let me give examples. Use what you do and go find out, because the digital skills I need will not be the same that you need. But one thing I know for sure is every sector has core digital skills that you need to acquire, embed in what you're doing so that you can leverage. And that's what Bill Gates even said, either you go on the internet or you go home. So there is no sector right now that can do without digital skills, but you need to find what core skills relate to the work that you do. The next thing is 360-degree communication. I call it 360-degree communication because it is more important now in this dispensation than ever. Show me anybody who can communicate effectively all round. I will show you somebody who will always be ahead of the game. Have you not seen people who are not as good as you are, but because they can talk well, they get more opportunities better than you? Have you not seen people who are not as good as you are, but because they can write well, they get more opportunities better than you? Communication is one of the most powerful things now, and it will continue to grow in terms of power in the next coming years. So what is 360-degree communication? It means when it comes to writing, you can write. When it comes to speaking, you can speak. And this speaking in terms of speaking in front of a few people, speaking in front of a large audience, and virtual speaking, like what I'm doing right now. This is virtual speaking. And that is now classified as a skill on its own. Right? When it comes to recording videos, when you sit and you record yourself on a video and then you share on the internet, it's part of communication. Right? What part am I missing? So I've mentioned writing, speaking physically, speaking virtually, recording videos. There's another one that's keeping my mind. But any channel that you can use to reach out to people in terms of communication, you need to train yourself and grow in it. Okay, it's very important. The next skill I want to talk about is strategic positioning. Strategic positioning. This is a very noisy dispensation, and it will keep on being very, very noisy. Social media platforms will keep on growing to become powerful institutions. And only people who know how to position themselves where the right people can find them, and where the right opportunities can meet them are the people who will succeed. Talent is equally distributed, but opportunities are not. God blessed everybody with a talent and with natural gift, but opportunities are not equally distributed. So the best way to get access to opportunities is strategic positioning. How can you use social media to position yourself as a good entrepreneur, as a good professional, that the right people can find you and the right opportunities can come your way? There are many talented people, but nobody knows them. Talented and broke, competent and struggling. Nobody knows them. Their challenge is strategic positioning. So it is one of the destiny-enabling skills that many of us need to have. We have good ideas, we have good skills, but we are not where opportunities can locate us, because you track opportunities, you don't run after opportunities. And the best way to attract opportunities and attract the right partners, and so as Christians we call it divine helpers, strategic positioning. Are you where people can effortlessly find you? What are some things that you can do to position yourself? Number one, have a good social media profile, a professionally looking social media profile on the right platforms. Number two, like I always fondly say, opportunities will never meet you in your father's house. What does that mean? Attend events, virtual events like you are here right now, and physical events if you can. The more people know you, the more you increase your chances of meeting the opportunity that will change your life, right? Next is massive execution. Massive execution. This is always one of the foundational skills in the journey of success. If you cannot execute, you cannot get things done, forget about achieving a lot. Show me somebody who is achieving and growing. I will show you somebody who has mastered the art of execution. And talking about strategic positioning, I have a book here that I wrote on building, managing, and monetizing attention, because I noticed that strategic positioning will always be one of the most powerful skills. And I noticed many people are struggling about that. So I documented some concepts and ideas that I have seen other people use, and I have used them, and I've seen the results. And I put those practical strategies in this book. How can you build attention? How can you manage attention? And then for business people, how can you monetize their attention, right? For those who are anywhere that Amazon can deliver, you can order the books on Amazon. They are not, they should be in Cameroon and other African countries. I will announce on my social media platform. All right, good. The next skill that you should develop on the destiny enabling skill is what I call the global mindset. The global mindset. You know, you can go global before actually traveling global. And this is beyond posting on Facebook, I am global, because people feel that because they have access to Facebook, you know, they can post from anywhere, they think that that's going global, right? So we are global, we are global. Good. But it takes beyond saying on social media, you're global. The first step to going global is the quality of your mindset and the quality of your skills. A young man came to me and said he would like to, it was not physical. I think he watched me on an international TV channel, and then he came and said he wants mentorship, but he wants to know the things that he can do to also be international. Then I asked him one question. Do you have the skills that can qualify you to play on the international stage? You see, you don't appear on stage before you start preparing. You prepare for the stage. So global mindset and global skills are important. Why is this more important than ever? Because the world is more connected than ever before. When I announced the retreat almost 600 people registered, and then I was checking more than 15 countries and in all continents. So it is very easier to do a project or do an initiative and it goes global. And that's why I like to say that it is more easier now to succeed than what our parents used to do in the 1970s, 1960s, 1950s, or 1990s, whatever. It's more easier now to make it than years back. And one of the ways is because the economy is becoming more global, more connected. But there's another challenge now with that connection, high competition, right? Because when it is global, when you're doing anything in Cameroon on the internet, like I always say, immediately you plug on the internet, you are no longer competing with your neighbors. You're no longer competing with your village people. Anytime you're on the internet, you're competing with a fellow professional in Japan. You're competing with a fellow professional in Germany. You're competing with a fellow professional in Nigeria, in different countries, right? But it is better for that global connection because it creates more opportunities, right? So having a global mindset where you can embrace diverse cultures and diverse perspectives and be able to play the game in your industry in an interconnected world will help you a lot. Will help you a lot. And in some countries that are very small, the economies are very small, there are some countries that they don't have billionaires in dollars. Like you can see like Cameroon, you can see Gabon, you can see even some European countries that are smaller because of the smallness of their population, because of the smallness of the economy. There's a limit to the wealth that you can make if you are just in that just small country. But if you are able to go global, it now gives you access to 8 billion people that can buy from you. It gives you access to other currencies and other economies that you can play with, right? So again, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're listening to me from a village, from a semi-urban area, the first step is that changing the quality of your mindset and acquiring the global skills that can enable you to play that game. The next skill is what I call micro-narrative mastery. Micro-narrative mastery. And this works a lot for people who have anything to do with the media. If anything that you're working has anything to do with the media, one of the most important destiny-enabling skills that you need is micro-narrative mastery. And we're coming to a stage where anybody who is serious with your business will always have something to do with the media. So media is not just for those who are journalists right now. It's for anybody who is trying to reach the world, to impact the world, and to make sales people. You need to be on the media to reach more people beyond the comfort of your house. So what is the skill of micro-narrative mastery? It's simple. The ability to craft compelling and concise information and stories for social media platforms. The real word for that skill is micro-narrative mastery. And the word micro is coming because when you look at of recent, you'll see that the growth of TikTok is because of short videos. Why? Because the attention span of human beings is reducing by the day. Many people cannot concentrate for long, right? And again, there's another research which shows that people who like short information have a limited level of mastery that they can gain. So everything has an advantage and a disadvantage. That's a fact. However, with the growth of Reels and short videos on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and all of that, the skill of micro-narrative mastery comes in. That's why you can see a short video of 1 minute, 30 seconds, or just 30 seconds or 40 seconds that has 5 million views because people would like to watch, but it must be compelling, it must be concise, it must be engaging, and sometimes it must be entertaining, right? And that's why you notice that like in the African continent and even in North America, some of the richest young people in 2023, the list was released recently, are social media influencers, micro social media influencers, if I may say so. People are being paid by Google and TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and all of that, because their videos have hundreds of thousands of views and millions of views, and they're catching out from it, ambassadors deal and all of that, right? Good. The next skill is virtual collaboration expertise. The ability to excel in a remote working environment, which focus on your ability to use digital tools. You can use Google Docs, Teams, Zoom, Whiteboard, all of these online platforms that you can use and collaborate with teams from different countries will continue to grow and become very, very relevant. The next is adaptive learning. The next is cross-industry innovation. We're running out of time, that's why I'm listing. Now, cross-industry innovation is growing because people can bring two industries and create incredible value will be very relevant. For example, let me give an example. Education and social media, two industries, cross-industry innovation, applying different concepts from one industry to another to create something new, right? So that's why you need to start finding one of the best innovations now is the ability to practice cross-industry innovation. How can you merge agriculture and AI? How can you merge secondary school education and e-learning to create something nice, right? So something in that line. The next skill is what they call predictive analysis. Your ability to analyze the marketplace, what will happen possibly in the next couple of months or next couple of years based on data that you have access to. And another skill that we have is social listening expertise. Social listening skills works a lot with people who are in psychology or the study of human behavior. And companies get to pay people with social listening skills because companies like people that can observe trends, observe change in behavior, observe insights, and understand customer sentiments, and understand change in customer buying behavior and recommend to large companies. So one of that core skill is social listening expertise, the ability to pay attention to trends, and you can become an expert in that area where you can work with companies and individuals and startups and begin to counsel and advise them, or based on what you're observing and based on the changes in trends and all of that, based on consumer sentiments, based on change in behavior and all of that. This is your counsel, this is your recommendation. You can build a strategic plan around that and you get paid for doing that, or you can use that skill for your own business. All right, so that is it for today's session on destiny enabling skills. And the core foundation was acquiring destiny enabling skills and deploying destiny enabling skill. And I hope that, and I know that I shared quite a lot of information and sometimes very strategic and insightful. And you can also get this video and go through over and over again and make some decisions. Like I like to say, anytime you read a book and anytime you go through a session, always do two things. Number one, what will you stop doing because of what you have learned? So I'm asking you a question right now. What will you stop doing because of the things I've shared with you? Number two, what will you start doing because of the things I have shared with you right now? And yesterday I took time to explain what a retreat is. And this retreat is just the part of me coaching and teaching is just the part A of it. The part B of it is you. What will you go do in your quiet time, in your private time? You need to start using this knowledge relating to your goals, to your plans for next year, and you start making decisions on how to have a better year and what not, a better rest of your life. Questions? And we round up. Questions? You can ask a question by typing on on the chat box for those who are here on Zoom, or you can leave a comment on Facebook, or you can raise up your hand, and I will definitely give you the opportunity to ask your question. All right, I see one hand up. Thank you. Any other person? Let me just check on Facebook and see if we have questions on Facebook. Anybody with questions on Facebook, please go ahead and let us know. Good. Any questions so far? Thank you for sharing your feedback here on Zoom. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. Yes. Oh, where's Ransom? He's announced. Okay, good. Yes, Ransom, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Doc, for giving me the opportunity to ask a question. Please, are there simple things I can do every day to improve my writing and speaking skill?
Okay, good. Yes, the things, writing and speaking is one of those things that you you grow in by doing it. For example, for most of you follow me on social media, most of you read articles that I send on the newsletter through email. One thing that I challenged myself to do several years ago was that every day I will write 300 words of anything. So I started writing more before even publishing it in public, right? So to become good in writing, write some more. You can just start by describing your day. Now, what we did in school called, is it descriptive essay or something? Like when we used to go for 30 holidays, when you come back, your English teacher will tell you, please, can you write a story about your summer holidays, right? So that's a skill. That's one of the best ways to do that. And you can also buy books on writing if you have access to, and learn what experts who are trained experts in writing, and you can learn from them the various ways how to start the first few lines, how to conceive the body, how to conclude, and all of that. Yeah, but if you read without practicing, it's not going to change. So start by writing some more and start by reading some more. It's going to help you a lot to do that. All right. Yes, Stanley, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. Please, I wish to ask, how can someone like a student position his or herself through writing a CV and preparing for a future opportunity? How can you structure your CV to be compelling?
Well, what makes a good CV is your experience and the skills you have acquired from your experience and, of course, from your school, right? And as a student, one of the best things that you can do as a student, if you're a student here, let me tell you one thing that sells you better is how many volunteering projects or internships you participated in while in school. There are some things that you see an NGO doing something, you just go do for a Saturday. When you do it, make sure you document it. What did you do? That's a plus, right? And you can document it under your volunteering section of your CV, and you document it in a way they see you as an achiever. When you're writing your CV, one of the core things that somebody should see in your CV is that you are a proactive achiever and you have the relevant skills in your CV that can contribute to the value that the organization is looking for. So as a student, you need to make sure that you're actively involved in things that are hands-on and document them. Sometimes just document them, the date and the time, the name of the organization, what you did in the project, and what you achieved, what you contributed, and numbers. Always have numbers. CVs are more powerful when you have data that somebody can measure how your contribution was, or measure what you were part of. For example, you are a nurse, right? And let's say that you participate in public health campaign done by the regional delegation of public health in the Northwest region. and that public health campaign was in the prison, and you are assisting the doctors who are doing minor operations and all of that. If you're writing your CV, and you can put project assistant or nurse assistant, prison projects, all of that. When you're not writing what you did, you can say assisted 3 doctors provide minor surgeries to 15 prisoners in 2 days. That data is what makes a CV. In the statement, they'll see you as an achiever. They'll see you as a contributor. And they can even have a glimpse, oh, assisted doctors. Any nurse who assisted doctors, the doctor would definitely carry out tasks like this. That's the recruiter thinking in their head. And they are weighing you and rating you and seeing if you're valuable for the organization, right? When you do that, just document it well, just do more research and look at CV format, make sure it's neat, organized, and you're good to go. And always make sure your CV is not more than 2 pages, no matter how experienced you are, except they purposely ask you that it should be detailed and they don't care how long the pages are. But if you're just applying, the standard is 2 pages. Good. All right. There's a question here. I don't understand if it's a question or a comment. Top 10 digital skills in my industry. Is that a comment? Okay. Can you through, oh, sorry, there's a question ahead. What has been your strategy in defining someone's gift? Now, I cannot say there's a particular strategy because people are gifted differently and people come from different backgrounds and you know, different things play along. But one of the things that really work is making sure you understand the person you're talking to. If somebody can, I've coached many people on purpose discovery and helping people discover their natural gifts that they can use, or they can convert those natural gifts into skills that they can create value for the work they want to do. But the best thing is I just make sure I ask a lot of questions to understand where they are coming from, understand what they have been doing, understand what they effortlessly do and all of that. And then we'll build a plan on how to nurture those gifts that can become highly skillful that they can use in the work that they do. Good. Can you throw more light on how to fight procrastination and lack of self-discipline? Simple. Get it done. Get it done. Sometimes there's no super magical things to do. You know, self-discipline and procrastination go hand in hand. Anybody who is self-disciplined will automatically delete procrastination from his or her life, right? And procrastination is one of the worst things that can happen to anybody who wants to be an achiever. And one of the ways that you can overcome procrastination is, like I said yesterday, if you see anybody who is a chronic procrastinator, one of the things that is lacking in their life is that person has nothing that they are convicted upon that is important in their life. It is difficult to see procrastination in the life of somebody who has discovered purpose and has a clear vision and they know what they want to achieve. Because that purpose will inspire you and that purpose will convict you. So you need to go back. Do you really know the path that you have chosen? Do you have a clear career vision? Do you have a clear business vision? What do you want to achieve in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and all of that? You need to begin to have that figure out because that is what inspires you. When you do that, the second thing is, one of the things that play an important role around you when it comes to overcoming procrastination is your community. If you don't have friends that are driven in terms of career, business, whatever, you will be forced to procrastinate because your immediate circle of people are a bunch of lazy, less committed people, and there is nothing that inspires you as far as that cycle is concerned. So you need to make sure that you are around a community of people that are driven, so that that drive, energy is transferable. So that drive can also impact you. The next thing to do is, it's important to always have a priority list, a daily priority list and a weekly priority list, right? What are you focusing on as your main goals for the week? And what are you focusing on as your main goals for the day, right? Anybody who wakes up, like I always like to say, if you woke up today without a plan, please go back to bed. Go back to bed, sleep again, and wake up with a plan, right? What am I trying to say? It is always better to wake up with a plan. Anybody who wakes up with a plan will always have high chances of getting it done. When you wake up without a plan, you will always procrastinate, right? And self-discipline means you do things when you're supposed to do them, not when you feel like doing it. Many people like to do things when they feel like doing it. But self-discipline doesn't care how you feel, except you are sick, and except it's something that is between life and death. If it's just feeling, some people, I was thinking of reading it, but I don't feel motivated to read. Boys and girls depend on motivation. Gentlemen and ladies play the game of self-discipline. With motivation, you do things when you're motivated. With self-discipline, when your timetable, when your calendar, when your to-do list says you're supposed to do this at 5 a.m., you get the hell up and get it done. Okay, I even have a book here on, where's that book? That I wrote last year, From Chief Procrastination Officer to Chief Execution Officer. It works a lot for business people, mostly. So it's a 10-chapter book with different strategies on how to move from being a chronic procrastinator to being a chief execution officer, with a couple of exercises that you can do. So the first chapter talks about what? Purpose discovery. Because when you're truly purpose driven, there will be a level of inspiration and drive that you will have, because you have a meaning. There's a significance. There's why you live every day. You have a reason for waking up every day. It reduces drastically how much you are going to procrastinate. The next chapter talks about, what's that chapter? It talks about beating procrastination through a clear career and business vision. I talk about that, and there are exercises on writing your vision and all of that, which will help you. And number 3 talks about beating procrastination through smart goal setting, with a process to follow to do that, talking about your priority list and you're waking up with a plan and all of that. So yeah, so those are some things that you can do that will definitely help you to do more. All right, that is it that we can take for questions. So many questions are still coming. We'll answer these questions tomorrow. Please keep them. Let's answer them tomorrow, so we don't keep people waiting for far too long, more than the time that we planned. And tomorrow is same time, 4 a.m. Cameroon time, and of course, 9 a.m. for people who are in Central Time, North America, and wherever you are. We have people who join from Thailand, South Africa, Nigeria, Dubai, different countries. You can now convert that to your local time and see you the same time tomorrow for day 3, right? Good. So have a great time. Remember to put to work what you have gained today. Like I always say, relevant knowledge is useless to a chief procrastination officer. Relevant knowledge will never change a lazy person who doesn't execute what they learn. So put it to work and definitely bring in some testimony. See you tomorrow, same time, for day 3 of our retreat. Cheers.